Hi guys, it's Rita here from Picked and Polished. I hope you are having a fantastic week. I'm really excited about tonight's live because we're going to be doing something with reusable stencils, and oh my goodness, you can tell I've been in the sun because you can see my sunglass lines pretty bad. So let me know that you're on here and that my feed is working okay before I get moving and grooving here, because before I flip my camera down, I'm actually going to be showing you on my iPad tonight. I find that a lot of the women in my DIY decor makers group prefer to use their iPad or their phones when they're designing in Cricut Design Space. Hi Ronnie. And so I thought that I would just go ahead and do it again tonight on my iPad because I feel like that's everybody's, pretty much everybody's go-to. Now, you have a few more options on the computer when you do it that way. The only computer that I don't use Cricut Design Space on that is not compatible is a Google Chromebook. Chrome as a browser is different than the actual Google Chromebook. And the Google Chromebook won't allow you to have Cricut Design Space software on it. The app, and I mean the iPhone and the iPad, you just upload, or you just what's the word, Jason? Upload the app? Download the app. I don't know the lingo, but Jason does. He's our tech guru. Hi Ronnie. So can you see me okay tonight? I'm off location. So I wanted to make sure you guys could see me okay and you could hear me okay before I get started with my screen shot. I have to show you guys something really pretty though that we found at the ocean. I love it. We collect heart rocks. Look how pretty this is. Isn't this like the perfect heart rock? And it like sits, wait, it sits exactly on its side. It's just so pretty. All right, so you can hear me all right. So I get a lot of questions from people asking, especially business owners that want to create reusable stencils so they can save money and time and they don't have to make up so many of the sticky vinyl stencils all the time. Yeah, you can see my sunglass lines. I know it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Please go ahead and pass this video along to someone that might be helpful for. I know that I also get a lot of messages from people that say, I want to use my Cricut so bad, but I haven't taken it out of the box, or I've taken it out of the box, but I'm afraid to use it, or I'm not sure where to begin. There's so much information out there. So my group and my instruction and my course, my Cricut course in that group is all about getting you going. And I start with the very basics and work up from there, because in order to work up from, be able to do some of the more complicated things, you really need to have a good foundation from which to grow on. So, Ronnie says, I do that all the time. All right. So I'm going to show you how to make reusable stencils tonight. I use a 4mm. I found a 4mm Mylar that I really like, better than the 6mm. It's much easier to cut. I don't have to do like 2 passes over it, and I can use my normal knife blade. I don't need a deep cut blade for that. Hi Deborah, how are you? I think Deborah, you may have been one that was asking about reusable stencils. So I thought tonight to come close to and coming close to the end of the month where I'm wrapping up my series of like Cricut series basics. I think in the beginning of September I'll do some like fun projects with the Cricut, but I wanted to get some of the basic things out of the way and get you guys rocking and rolling right out of the gate. So tonight we're going to talk about reusable stencils. And there, hi Kimberly. Oh, welcome. I'm so glad it's your first time here. So feel free, you guys, to pop your questions in the feed as I go. While I'm working on my iPad screen, I may not be able to see your questions. Oh, you made a few this week? Awesome. The reusable ones or the sticky vinyl? I'm going to show you some tricks on how to make the reusable ones. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can make designs outside of Cricut Design Space without buying fonts or anything like that. So I use, oh my gosh, you are so sweet, Ronnie. Ronnie says you will love Rita and what she offers. Thank you for that. I appreciate that so much. Hi, Kim. So I actually used oh, awesome. Deborah said she made a reusable one. I actually used Canva, which is a free app for designing your marketing. You can design invitations in that app. There's a million ways you can use that free app. And I teach it in my Biz Boot Camp. I teach people how to use it, but I also have trainings in the DIY Decor Makers group. Now, because I help women with creative businesses or creative women that want to decorate for their home, sell in their business, or create projects for inspiration in DIY workshops. And so Canva is a really handy app to learn your way around in. And so I actually was able to make, I didn't like any of the fonts I was playing around with in Cricut Design Space. If you have Cricut Access, they already have pre-made designs for you. It makes it so easy if you're someone who's doing it as a hobby and just want to like create some quick, cute designs. They have a ton of free designs in Cricut Access that are free a lot of times with your subscription. Beth says, I'm traveling. I meant to bring my headphones. You're so funny. Hi, Brenda. How are you? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down. Again, I made this design in Canva, and I took a screenshot of my design, and then I uploaded it into Cricut Design Space. And that is one of my favorite things to be able to do, is to be able to create designs. Even sometimes if I draw something and I get really crisp lines with a black marker, I can screenshot it and I can upload it right into Design Space and use it however I want. And so that is a really exciting way to customize things. I just bought an Apple Pencil, and now I can design things in an app called Procreate, and I can upload my designs, and I can cut stencils that look exactly like what I created on the screen of my iPad. So those are all really exciting ways you can use this Cricut Design Space. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down, and let me know if you guys can't see. It's going to take me just a second to get everything situated. All right, so hold tight. Again, I'm not at my house, so this is it's saying I have to rotate my phone, but I just want to get this set up for you guys here. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Just bear with me a second. Okay. Oop, that's really close, isn't it? How's that? Okay? All right, I feel like you guys can pretty much see that. I might tip it back just a little bit. And you guys can see most of my screen, right? All right, so I'm actually going to imagine that I have nothing on my screen right now. And Kim, can you see this okay? I just want to make sure that you guys can see this. A-okay. So this is my screen on my iPad, and I just upload, all you have to do is upload the Design Space app. And I want to show you something. So I took a screenshot of this design I made in Canva. And I'm going to look at select from my photo library. So here's the screenshot that I took. And then I cleaned it all up in my, like the back end of Design Space. And the way that I did that is I clicked on this little guy here that says remove. You don't have to have an Apple Pencil for this part, but it just makes it a little bit easier because it's a little bit fine-tuned. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on the background, and I want to make this transparent. And I know that it's transparent now most of the way because of all the checkerboard I see. If you look over here, you can see this is like the view of what it will look like on your cutting mat. So over here, I can see there's still some black filled in spaces, right? Jace, can you just hop on my page and just make sure everybody's seeing everything okay?
I don't have access. You got my phone.
I know, it's right there. And so what I'm going to do is after I hit remove, I'm going to go ahead and just tap these areas that I want to clean up. So see what happened when I did that? Watch over here where the T is. Watch what happens when I click. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And again, I can do this with my finger if I want to, but it's just easier. The Apple Pencil has a finer point to it. So see what just happened right there? That got cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and do the same here in all of those sections. It's like magic, you guys. I'm going to go here. Again, this was just a screenshot of something that I did on Canva. And again, you don't have to do this. Cricut has a ton of designs and fonts and texts that you can use already. So just tap, tap, tap. And if I accidentally tap in a spot that I don't want to tap in, you can always click the undo button here. And that will allow you to go back and fix whatever it is you did wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and just tap these. Tap, tap. And so then I want to move it up a little bit. Get my little guy here. I'm just kind of redoing what I already did just to show you the process of how easy that is. All right, so that's something I designed outside of Cricut. So I just want to remind you, you can definitely do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Next up at the top right hand corner. And here's how my image is showing. The lettering isn't as smooth as it was in the Canva, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this little button, smooth. I'll just kind of smooth it out a little bit, and that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and click Next, and my image is going to be A1 because I already named it Autumn 1. So I'm going to save. All right, so this is also like here, I drew one with my Apple Pencil, and then I imported it the same way. You can see that design right there, right? So if I wanted to put that in there, I could. If I want to put that in there, I can. And I'm going to go ahead on the bottom right hand corner and click Insert. So those two designs are in there. Again, you don't need an Apple Pencil for this. This is the one that I drew with my Apple Pencil on Procreate. So I'm just going to set that one aside for now. That's just for fun. Not really doing anything with that tonight. All right, so now that I have my design in here and it's ready to go, this would be all set to go if I wanted to actually cut it as a reusable stencil. But since I want to make, a sticky vinyl stencil, but since I want to make it a reusable stencil, I need to do it a different way. You see how this looks more like how a reusable stencil would look? So I'm going to go ahead and take my design, and I always want to think about, I'm not going to worry too much about size right now because I want you guys to be able to see it. But whenever I'm doing reusable stencils, I always take into consideration the space around the stencil as well, because you don't want your stencils to get cut like, let's say you're working with a 12 by 12 square of Mylar. You don't want your lettering to be up against like the very edge of that Mylar, okay? So I'm going to imagine, I'm going to put like a virtual piece of Mylar over this, okay? That's kind of how I imagine it in my mind. It helps me visualize it. So I'm going to go to Image. You could go to Shapes. I'm going to click out of that. I'm just going to go to Square. Okay, this is the place where you have like tons, for those of you that missed my initial free series this past month, you can go back and watch all the old videos. But Cricut Design Space has tons of pre-made designs and signs. So like, even if you don't feel like designing something, there's always something to choose from if you subscribe to the Cricut Access monthly $9.99. So anyway, so I'm going to go to Square. So if you're wondering about that, go back and watch my first couple of videos. If you can't find them, let me know and I'll tag you. Be happy to help you find them. I'm just going to throw in a square, and you can see there's my selection, and I'm going to insert. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up and put it right over. I'm going to make it like I'm just going to make it, let's imagine this is a 12 by 12. All right. Obviously it's not, but because I want you guys to see my screen. So there's my Autumn, and these lines are telling me where I'm centered. So that's great. I'm centered right there. And what I want to do is I want to highlight the square, and you can see by the faint line behind, it's also highlighting the lettering. I'm going to go ahead and slice. Now that slice has allowed me to pull that off and get rid of that. And it also allows me to pull that off and get rid of that. So it looks like my stencil is ready to go, except for one thing. When you're dealing with, whoops, sorry about that. I've got my door open here. When you're dealing with reusable stencils that aren't going to stick down, you're not, these little guys right here, the center of the O, the little pieces that are not connected to anything, like this piece here, these two pieces, this little guy here, they're just going to fall off. They're not going to have anything to hang on to because it's a reusable stencil. You're not dealing with sticky vinyl and transfer tape. All right, so we have to find a way to fix that. And the way that I fix that when I do reusable stencils is I will go ahead into my images again. I will throw in a square again. Oh, it's right here. Okay. And I will make it a different color. Let's see if I can. I'll go to layers. Let's see if I can make that. For some reason that's not working. Let's see. Make that a different color. Hold tight. Well, for some reason my layers thing isn't working tonight, which is not a huge deal. I was just hoping I could make this a different color, but it's not a big deal if I can't. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of that for a second, my layers. Let's see if I can make that a different color. Huh. All right, I'm gonna let that be for now. Let's sync that, okay. So what I want to try to do is go ahead and make these little pieces. They're going to hook, and usually I make them a different color so I can see them, but they're going to hook those little inside pieces to the outside edge of the stencil so that when you go to cut it, these little pieces have something to hang on to, all right? But before I do that, before I get this guy, move this guy off. And you don't have to have an Apple pencil. It's just something that I'm using right now because it's easier. I try to make them fairly thin, thick enough for the Cricut to cut, but not like so thick that it's gonna look funky like on the lettering. You can always go back and touch up too, but so I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate those. I'm gonna go to action. I'm gonna duplicate. I'm just gonna make a bunch of them, because I'm going to need them for a bunch of different letters. So like right here, I'm going to make sure that's hooked onto the O. Whoops. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see. So do you guys see that okay? Do you see how that's hooked on? I'm going to drag another one of these over. And I'm going to move it around, boop, boop, boop. And I'm going to put that down, and that's going to hold on. That's going to hold the center of my E, okay? And again, I find this to be easier on the computer. Deborah says she likes using the computer better. It definitely has more control. You have more options on the computer. That's why usually when I do my trainings, if you decide you want to join the DIY Decor Makers group, the trainings, the 1 through 7 series basic trainings are all on the computer, but then I have a bunch of quick tip videos that are on the iPad and the iPhone, so that you guys feel like you can, you know, whatever device you're using, that you can learn either way. And typically if we have people that have questions, I do Q&As every week, and I can show them things. I can answer questions during the Q&As. if needed. So you always have like a community of people to help you in that group. And we also have 2 community moderators that are excellent with the Cricut as well. So if I don't answer right away, chances are one of them will answer soon after. So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just going through. I'm going to make some more of those. I'm going to duplicate. So this is kind of boring, but it gives you an idea of what to do. Okay, so that when you go to make a reusable stencil, you're not in a panic thinking, well, how am I going to get all of these little pieces connected? So this is all one piece, so I really only need one little line to hook it. Let's see. And then I get used to using the computer, and then I kind of sometimes forget where things are on my iPad because things are just in a different spot. Do you guys have any questions? So right now I'm just making little, almost like little tags that can hold these pieces on. Okay. Any questions so far? Thanks, Kate. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Deborah. That's awesome. And make sure you guys share this video because it allows me to continue to give free videos, you know, to put free videos out there for you guys. And, you know, you never know who might be stuck on something. And this might be really, really helpful for someone. So if I want to make this smaller, this little guy here, which it looks like I do, I can still do that. I just want to see if I can. Boop, boop, boop. It's like playing a video game. All right. So it looks like I got most of the pieces hooked on there, right? And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be very careful not to move anything. I'm going to kind of let that in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Does anybody from the DIY Decor Makers group, because I have a full training on this in there, can anyone tell me what I need to do next from that group? There's something important that I need to do if I want those little tags to stick on there. So Beth, they are in, it's Catherine Peavine and Kate Chase, but they're in our group. So yeah, you can tag them anytime as well if you have questions. But usually we're all kind of there to jump in and help out. So I see one that I missed actually right there, that little F. Do you see at the bottom? But that's okay. I'm going to leave it because I just want to show you guys the gist of it so you can get going. So, yep, I'm going to group, attach, and then what else? There's one other thing that I need to do. Then weld. Yes. Gold star, Kate Chase. I'm going to stick it on your forehead the next time I see you. Okay. So there we go. So we've welded it. It's all set, you guys. And do you see how I left space here to, like, I imagine this is my piece of Mylar. So I don't want I wouldn't want to set my lettering up at the edge because then when I would go to cut this, it would mess everything up. So now here's the other thing I want to tell you. When you go to cut, which I don't have my Cricut machine with me right now, but if I did, I actually have found that if I go to make it, yeah, it's incompatible because I'm not here. But that's all ready to cut. I just want to give you some quick tips before I get off here. Hold on. Going for a little ride with me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, all right. Well, that's really high. Okay, hold on. Back that up. Back that train up. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so one tip I want to give you is when I cut the 4mm Mylar, what seems to work best for me is I go to custom setting on my machine, and then I'll choose the birch setting actually, and I only have to cut it one time through, and it goes through with my regular knife blade. Okay, so that I hope is very, very helpful. If you get the 4mm Mylar, that will work out. It should work out fine for you because I have actually a pretty dull blade probably right now. I haven't changed mine in a while, and it has worked great. So anyway, so I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. I think I will be doing another one on Sunday at 8 o'clock. If there's something specific you want to learn, let me know. And I can do that. I will probably be doing some painting with you with the reusable stencil on Sunday. Let's see. So Ronnie says, I'm confused. When you cut, do those little lines get in the way? So they're the only things that hold those pieces on. But the nice thing is you can always go back, like after you stencil something with a reusable stencil, you just go back with a super micro brush and you can just like put a little dot of paint in those spots and you'll never see them. It'll be like they weren't there. And then Deborah said, so why did you center it on the Mylar? Seems like wasted space. All right, so if it were, because it was a bigger stencil, I would want that extra room. Probably not as much room. But you can use your own discretion. I centered it only to show you guys. Hold on, motorcycle going by. I centered it to show you guys that feature of how the little lines pop up on the iPad. But because, I mean, I still wouldn't want it much on the top and the bottom. There's like enough room. On the sides, I probably could have, you know, I don't know, finagled it, but I wouldn't have fit another stencil probably on, like if that were my 12 by 12 square. So I would rather have a little bit of extra room, but you could definitely, you know, scooch it over and not have it centered. You don't have to have it centered. So that's a really good question. I just think I wanted to show you guys how you could still center even if you can't see it, that there's a way to do it. Did that answer your question, Deborah? But if you wanted to put 2 stencils on a 12 by 12 sheet or 3 or 4, you could do that. Just make sure you're not cutting things, especially if you don't have a maker, that you're not cutting things that are so itty bitty tiny that they're gonna, you know, be really hard for the machine to cut. So I hope that's helpful to you guys tonight. All right. And definitely hop on the wait list if you're interested to getting into the DIY Decor Makers group, because doors open on September 15th. The wait list is getting long, and I'm so excited to welcome new members. And so are the people that are in there. They are excited to welcome new members as well. And if you have any questions about the group, please feel free to message me or reach out. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Friday night. I'll see you guys again on Sunday. Thanks. Bye.